in front of my face. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and if you have any blocks or a pillow, and grab those, or if you don't have blocks, you could grab a book or two. We'll kind of see how it goes today. I'll give you some options, but find your way to a comfortable sitting position. And welcome, I'm Shauna. We're here for gentle yoga and meditation. And thanks to Magawai for sponsoring this chance for us to be together virtually, apart physically, but together virtually, to be able to practice yoga together. So welcome, welcome. I've muted everybody, but if you need to reach me, you can unmute and ask me a question. Hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties, but if you lose my video or something odd happens, don't hesitate to let me know. So finding a comfortable sitting position, could be cross-legged, could be kneeling, could be on a chair. And we're just going to work at, as we settle into our meditation, a little centering meditation here at the beginning of the practice. You can let your palms rest face down. Welcome, who's ever joining us. We're just getting started. We're just getting comfortable. You can let your palms rest face down. Close your eyes if that feels right. And we're going to find some stillness through a little bit of moving here. Just feeling, you could let your torso sway a little bit if that feels good. Could feel in, and then when you kind of find that spot, maybe you lean forward or lean back. Anyway, when you kind of find that spot that's right for your spine, you can come to stillness, find your breath. So what would it be like to feel your breath from the inside out? And let your breath show you the way from inside. And then you can take a few movements with your shoulders. Again, if you'd like to keep your eyes closed, we're just kind of moving a little bit to just find that right piece of stillness for a little meditation here at the beginning. And you could, whatever. So whenever it feels right, kind of moving at your own pace, you can let any shoulder movement go. And then again, at your own pace, you could raise up and lower your arms. Kind of feeling maybe like a couple of wings here, just floating the arms up and floating the arms down. Again, just letting that movement go when it's the right time for you. Bringing the hands back to your lap. And then clasping your hands behind, just reaching all the way to the webbing of the fingers, shaking hands with yourself. You could bend your elbows lightly, draw the backs of the shoulder blades together. Good. And then try to lengthen, straighten the elbows a little bit. And you could drop your chin and lift your chin, paying attention to both sides of the neck. So without dropping the back of the head all the way down to the upper back, you're just kind of finding. And then release, and then interlace the hands differently all the way down to the webbing of the fingers, stretching the hands back. You can take a few more, if it feels right. Could take a few more lifts and lower with your chin. Good, and then just release again. Just seeing here as you move to stillness, your body's feeling any different. Maybe your mind's feeling a little different. Maybe your heart energy is feeling a little different. Checking in with your breath again. What does it feel like here if you've done a little movement, sitting still, meditating, and a little bit of moving? And bring your hands together at your heart center. Kind of feel the warmth of each palm and finger touching the other. You can rest your thumbs above your heart. And create some space here at this point in the day for something positive, an affirmation for yourself, something that brings you joy. You can release the hands down. If you've been sitting cross-legged and you want to change positions, bring the other shins forward. Holding on to the knees, we'll inhale into your cow tilt. Exhaling to round into a cat stretch. And moving a little slower here at the beginning. Just really trying to, again, from the inside out, feel your spine with kindness. I kind of feel like what's releasing. Without force. How can you make this be about love and action for yourself today? Oh yeah. What do you need from your practice to feel just right? And then go ahead and let that go. And come out of your sitting position. And if you've got a pillow, or if you do have a couple blocks, you could have a pillow and a book, or you could roll up a mat. We're just going to try a little bit of thoracic opening. So I have my two blocks both flat, they're lowest here, and then I'm going to lay down and have, we do this, but so having that block kind of in your mid back, and then the second block for your head. So you could use a pillow under your upper back and maybe nothing behind your head. You could roll your mat up or quarter your mat a little bit to give yourself a little lift. So if you don't have two blocks, it's okay. You're just going to find that place. I'm going to get a little closer here so I'm not out of the lens. There we go. Just going to find that place that's just right for you with that first block on the upper back to feel like your heart can lift. You can let the arms come out to T position. You could rest your feet on the floor with the knees bent.
Can't see you at all.
Can't see me at all. I'll turn my phone down, or I'll turn my
Thank
phone
you.
over to you. Okay, thank you. There we go. Let's see. What did I do? Move myself out of the frame here. Oh. All right, is that better? Yeah. We're just laying on the floor on our blocks. So thanks for letting me know. All right, knees can be bent, legs can be extended. You want to feel the back of the upper back moving towards the front of your body. You want to feel that opening through the back of the heart, through the front of the heart. Let's take a couple breaths here. If it feels good, you could reach your arms behind, stretching the arms towards whatever's above your head. You could interlace your thumbs. You could bend your elbows a little. You could take the elbows a little side to side. Whew. You could stretch the elbows straight. So again, just playing here a little bit. What helps open up the front of the chest and the shoulders? Kind of feeling into your heart energy. Feeling that place where healing can start or continue. That deep place in your heart. That unstruck place in your heart. And when you're ready to come out of this, you could take one hand carefully behind your head to lift it lightly. You could come up onto the other forearm So just moving carefully out of that position and making your way into table pose. So coming to hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. It's like Goldilocks. Fingers aren't spread too widely apart or too close together. They're kind of just right, little space between the fingers. Neutral spine. Inhaling to your cow tilt here. So maybe feeling as though that block was still there behind the back of the shoulders. Exhaling to round into the cat stretch. An imaginary block that's still there. And as you move between these two poses, just being kind to your neck, letting the neck gently elongate and stay in alignment with your spine. And coming into table pose, bring the big toes together, take the knees apart, exhale, hinge back to devotional. Resting your forehead, you could fold your arms here, you could stack your fists, or maybe your forehead reaches the floor. Stretch the arms forward, so this should feel good. A little stretch through the armpits, stretch through the shoulders. Take a few breaths here. Bring your hands alongside your shins if that's comfortable. So you have a little support. So the forehead hopefully is resting on a block or the floor. And come into full child's pose, finding a ladybug back. Kind of nice ladybug shape to your upper back, your lower back. And then gently coming into table pose again. So option here, option one is to come into puppy pose. So the hips are going to stay over the knees, arms stretch forward. You could either have your forearms on the floor or lift the forearms up. So it's a little bit like like a down dog, except you're on your shins. Or option to take a down dog. So I know this is a gentle yoga meditation, but I'm just going to give you that option. You could also take your down dog on the wall, or if you had a chair handy. So you had a 90-degree hinge at the hips, and you could rest your hands on the chair or the wall. Or take a down dog if you want with me, or stay in your downward facing puppy. So just an option here, just to see what feels right for you. You could pedal your knees here, pressing the opposite heel towards the floor if you're in down dog. Again, if you're doing this at the wall, you're just making that nice bend. So pretend that's the wall in front of me. So you can just take a bend there and bend knees there. Yeah, good. And then wherever you're working, come back into your table pose. Sweep the legs forward. Bring the legs forward, coming back into sitting. If you want to roll up your mat to give your sits bones a little lift, we're going to take a straddle stretch, just not the biggest one in the world, but just a gentle straddle stretch. This Upavisha Konasana. And then bring the right leg in, kind of heel to hip if that's available. If not, you can take it out a little farther. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Good. And then just breathe here. With every inhale, just feeling that top half of the body above the waist, lengthening tall, and feeling the bottom half of the body, the sits bones, sinking towards the earth. So feeling that lengthening as you stretch yourself from the waist. Good. On your next exhale, we're going to turn over the knee and fold. So just find maybe the hands rest here, maybe this is your fold. See where you can come today. Maybe you can fold all the way over, and it's okay. My opposite sits bones coming up. I'm kind of folding over that leg, squeezing the calf in towards the thigh, flexing the ankle lightly. And then inhale, come on back up. Good, turn to the center. Take the hands under the shoulders and take a little forward fold here. Option to do a little channeling of a lizard here, those little geckos or those little lizards that like to press up and down. So you're not really taking a lot of weight into the upper body. You just kind of maybe feel a little zing in the triceps when you straighten your elbows. Inhale, reach the arms up, get long from the top half of the body, root down through the bottom half of the body. Exhale and fold over the extended leg, your left leg here. So here we are in Janu Shirshasana, one-legged forward fold. So starting with some sitting positions, which actually I think are almost as challenging as the standing positions are. Good. Just kind of seeing what's opening, using your breath as a guide, seeing what's opening, checking in, moving at your own pace. Inhaling to come up. Good. And then for the second round, we're going to bring the left elbow. If it's available, you could bring it just inside the knee. You could take your block to rest the forearm. I'm just bringing that left arm inside the left knee. I'm taking my right hand to my right hip and feeling a little of that opening through the rib cage. And I'm feeling that imaginary block in the middle of my back. Good. And then option to stay here. You could stretch that left hand towards the foot or just rest it on the floor, finding your lateral stretch. Last option would be you could reach the right arm up and overhead at an angle here. Good, being kind to your neck. Yeah, good. Parivrita Janu Shirshasana. So a little bit of revolved, one-legged forward fold. Good. Inhale, come up. Yay, exhale, release. Ooh, take that right leg out. Oh yeah, let's give everybody a little shake here, shake the legs. It feels good to give the ankles a little rotation here in both directions. Ooh, a little snap, crackle, pop. All right, finding your way into a straddle. Now, it doesn't have to be the world's widest. Bring the left sole of the foot in. Inhale, reach up, get tall as you root down. Exhale, fold over the left knee, any amount. So it may just be here today, or if it's available, you could walk the hands out, come to the forearms, let the torso rest, squish down into the knee perhaps. Could draw that calf actively back into the thigh, into the hamstring. On an inhale, rise up, turn to center, and a few little lizard pushes, or just fold. Just take a fold here. You could just kind of bounce a little. Whew. Play around with bringing the palms to the floor and turning the fingers out a little, or having the palms center, kind of play around. You could be up on the fingertips. Yeah. Inhale, reach up through the crown, reach down through the sits bones, and exhale, fold over your right leg here. So it's fine if you have a little, for this one, if you've got a little bit of a cat stretch in your upper back, it's okay, in your thoracic. And again, it doesn't have to be just to where you come with this. It might be pretty high, it's okay. Just till you're feeling the stretch through the hamstring here, maybe you're feeling it through the hip here, through the whole back of that leg. Inhale, come up, and we'll bring the right elbow inside, left hand to the hip, to just kind of draw that hip back. So find a little bit of that opening through the upper back, that thoracic upper back opening. Good. And continue to stretch that right arm towards the right foot. You got a little rotation and a lateral stretch. Maybe reach the left arm up and overhead. You could take it as an angle here. Ooh. Breathing here. Good. Or keep the hand at the hip. See what you need today. Oh yeah. Be kind to your neck, be kind to your spine. Oh, yum. All right, inhale, rise up and release. Good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and come back onto the floor, coming onto your belly. Good. And stretch out prone. Arms overhead, forehead can rest on the mat. Rock the hips a little bit. Kind of feel the floor underneath the front side of your body. And take a few breaths, just absorbing that series we did for the hips. So a little twisting, a little folding. And then you can start to pull the hands towards your shoulders isometrically. And if you can either keep your head on the floor as you as though you're trying to pull yourself forward a little, you could let the forehead rise up off the mat. Feel the shoulder blades drawing back away from the ears, even though the hands are pulling lightly forward, and then release and rest and breathe. You can fold your arms here if that feels better too. You can fold your arms. Coming into Sphinx pose, coming onto your forearms, drawing the legs together. So relaxing the shoulders down, pressing the forearms lightly into the floor, with lifting the abdominals away from the earth and towards the hips. So you've got a little engagement in those seatbelt muscles. And then just checking in with your lumbar. If your lumbar is feeling a little constrained, walk forward. Or lift up through the abdominals a little bit. Kind of see what you need. Let the belly stretch forward. And let the pubic bone be heavy. And then release. We'll stretch the right arm and leg long. So if you have a strap, you don't necessarily need one. Let's just see if you can reach back. We're going to try to reach back and clasp the left ankle. If that's too intense, you could just stretch the arm back and bend the knee, any amounts. It's fine if they don't hook, and if you don't have a strap, it's okay. So you could just take a little half bow, but real low. We're not lifting up the upper. And we're just going to change sides. We're going to stretch the left arm long, left leg long, bend the right knee, reach back, maybe catch the foot of the ankle. Find a little quad stretch, or maybe just again, we're just reaching. If your hamstrings are saying bad things to you, mine are too. So just kind of try to work through. And then just moving a few times at your own pace, just kind of coming into that quad stretch. Or you could stay with your arms folded, resting in prone position, arms extended or not. We could take, just take a little break here if this is feeling too intense. Otherwise, we're just working a little bit side to side. And then release. Take a rest, fold the arms, rest your forehead, let everything go. And when you're ready, you can come onto your right side, just laying on the floor. Any hand position, if you like. I'm not a big fan of this because it just feels like it always cranks my neck. Of course, my neck tends to be a little bit longer than others. So if this is a comfortable hand position for you, that is just fine. I like to sort of support my head. You could also use a block here. We'll have that top hand in. I'm going to stretch the legs long, and then we're going to try to we're going to try to reach back and do a quad stretch on the side here. So if you need to have that bottom knee bent, we'll take our quad stretch on the side. It might be a little bit more accessible here. And you're going to press the glutes. You guys can see me good. Press the glutes forward. You're kind of pressing buttocks in a little bit to find that opening through the front of the hip flexor and the whole front of the quad. Let's check in to make sure there's no tension in the shoulders. See if you can relax through the middle of the back. And then release that. All right, now we're going to try, just like we did with Janu Shirshasana on the floor, bringing the sole of the foot could come into the inner thigh, like a tree pose here on the floor. You could try that. We could try bringing the knee in towards the armpit. You can see what that feels like. Could work with all of these. You could extend the leg into full couch pose, either reaching for the big toe, or if you have a robe sash. If you don't have a strap, you could use a robe sash or a tie. You could hold on to the back of the, probably just as easy to hold on to the back of the hamstring. And again, knee can be bent as much or as little. So working here, work here, here, or here. Oh. And trying not to roll. We want to try to stay on that side right hip. So try not to roll onto your back. Oh, good. And release. Whew. All right, so you can roll onto your other side. We'll do that series on the other side. I'll turn around. So you're going to come onto your left side or the other side. And we'll try our half bow. But find a comfortable place for your head first. Reach back for the right leg. Press the glutes forward. Find that stretch through the front of your hamstring or through the front of your quadricep and your hip flexors. Yeah, oh, good. And then I'm just noticing, I tend to bring my head in. So is there anything you can do with your head position to keep the neck spine in alignment with the rest of the spine? Good. While you're feeling this lovely quad stretch, hopefully no tension on the low back. And release. All right, option here to have fun with that tree pose on the side. So you could just stay right there, any place where the foot feels good. If it feels good and you want just to hold onto your ankle, that might feel yummy. You draw the knee into the armpit. So play a little here to see, or play with all of them. See which one, maybe try all of them and see which one you want to stay in or you want to come back and forth through a few. So coming into couch pose, Anantasana. Any variation here. Ooh, and the knee can be bent, doesn't have to be straight. You can have plenty of a hamstring with the knees bent. All right, good. And release. Nice. All right, making your way into table pose, carefully coming into table pose. And then option, we're going to come into a forward fold. So an option to come to standing and fold forward. You could come into a downward facing dog. If you want a second down dog, or you want to come to the wall and take a down dog, or your downward facing puppy. So here's our downward facing puppy, hips over knees, arms forward. I've got my forearms on the floor. Good. So anything there, good. If you're in down dog with all four limbs on the floor, you could walk your feet forward and your hands back a little. So everyone come to a forward fold. Step the feet about max distance apart. Take a nice wide stance here and bend the knees a little. Clasp the elbows and swing the elbows side to side. And then just playing around here, seeing if you press down through the soles of the feet, can you rise up and circle? And keep the knees bent here. To keep the feet a little bit wider. Give yourself a good base so you're not unsteady in your balance. Let's move through a few circles. And next time you get down towards the earth, you can circle, change directions. And then release the elbows, bend the knees, inhale, roll yourself up to standing, adjust your yoga pants. Good, and come into mountain pose. Let's just let's bring both our hands over the heart. Take a few breaths, just kind of absorb a little of that movement. Check in with how just take your mind's eye to the front of the quadriceps. We did some hip work. We already got a little opening in the legs. So just kind of seeing how things are feeling. Let the shoulders release. It's coming up into standing. Good. You can lift the toes, lift the arches a little bit. So toes can come off the mat. Feel the arches lift, draw up towards the groins, lifting the kneecaps a little. Feel the heels and the ball mounts heavy. And release. All right, we'll release the arms. Step the feet just a little bit, about hip distance apart, and take helicopter arms. You can just let your head kind of travel along with your twist. Kind of feel that division. Maybe the hips can stay more forward. We'll just let everything go. Actually, it's okay. You can just let everything kind of go. Just see what feels good here. And then come on back to center. Step straddle distance apart. So take a wide leg distance apart position. If it's available, clasp the hands. So coming all the way into the webbing there. You bend the elbows, draw the shoulders wide as you bring the back of the shoulders together. You can have the elbows bent a little bit and then start to straighten. And then an option to move into a little bit of a back bend. So if it's more comfortable to have your hands, you can have your hands just on your hips. We're finding that cow tilt just through the upper back. So low back is just trying to stay neutral. So we're just trying to find that heart lift like you've got the block behind your heart again. And come back to neutral. Inhale to neutral. If it's available, exhale, clasping the hands, fold forward. Again, you could bring the hands to the floor if the balance doesn't feel right where you want it to be. Let the head hang. If that'll do, it'll do that. You could even let the hands move a little side to side. Release the hands to the floor. Bend the knees lightly, round the back, and press yourself back up to standing. Good. And we'll step the feet together. Give them a little shake out here. Let's bring the right arm up and overhead. We'll clasp that right elbow and take a lateral stretch. Over to the side here. Whew. Let's be, again, being kind to the neck. Come on back to center, and then we'll just switch. We'll hold on to that left elbow. Take a lateral stretch over to the right. Come on back to center. Good. Release. All right, we'll take a straddle stretch. Let's turn that left foot and toe 90 degrees. We'll kick that back heel out so it's a little wider than the toes. So hips are staying square towards me and bend that front knee. So we're taking a warrior two stance. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Good. And feel that same sense of lifting through the top half of the body and sinking down through the bottom half. Maybe even feel with your next breath. What would it feel like to lift the belly a little bit? Good. Exhale, arms to tea. Feel the shoulders sitting on top of your ribs. And then with your next exhale, we'll take a lateral angle. So you're going to bring that forearm to the thigh, stretch the top arm up and over. Good. You can even keep that top arm towards the ceiling here. Good. Find the right comfortable position for your neck, just continuing along the trajectory of your spine. Breathe here. We're drawing this back left hip towards the back leg. That outer hip is drawing back and down. Inhale to warrior two. Take an exhale. Inhale, front palm to the sky. Exhale to peaceful or reverse warrior here. Good. And if your quadriceps are speaking to you as mine are, if you need to take a break and come out of this, it's totally fine. Because this is gentle yoga. If this is not, this is too much. That's okay. Inhale to warrior two. Good. Gently straighten that front knee. Good. We'll bring both feet parallel and step the feet together. Good. And shake it out. Let's do a little release for the neck before we do the other side. So comfortably, feet can be about hip distance apart. Interlace the hands. Good. Draw the heart forward, shoulder blades together, and bring the hands over to the right hip, dropping the right ear towards the right shoulder. So we're really getting into that left shoulder over here. And turn your gaze towards your right hip. And again, if it's too intense with the hands hooked, you could just try a bind with that one arm. You can also do this without the hands interlaced. So options. And then looking up towards the ceiling, and then carefully looking down towards the right hip or the floor. So you could just move a few times. End up looking towards the ceiling and then come back to look at me. Reach the head up, release the hands. Good. Interlace differently. Inhale, open the shoulders, the front of the shoulders. Exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. We're relaxing that right shoulder. Both shoulders, in fact, are kind of sloping down. Gaze towards your left hip. Maybe feel a little bit again of that. What does it feel like to root down through the tailbone and the soles of the feet, but feel a little lift above the waist? And then when you're ready, moving to look towards the ceiling, back towards the floor, only if this is comfortable. Just kind of letting go any accumulated gunk in the shoulders and neck that we hold on to. And then, coming back up. Good. All right, release. All right, let's step the feet wide. We're going to do the other side with those three poses. So we're going to turn the right toe and right knee towards the front of the mat or the back of the mat, wherever it is. We're going to kick that left heel out, bend your knee. Good. Good. So you're feeling that right hip get a little bit low as the outer hip draws back towards the back heel. Arms to T. Warrior two. Exhale, take a lateral angle here. So we'll bring the right forearm lightly to the thigh. So the challenge would be, could you stay in this position with that forearm off? I mean, it's fine for it to be there, but just kind of thinking about that. So could you find some of those muscles in the intercostals that can do some of the work here? And inhale back into your warrior two. Take an exhale. Inhale, front palm to the sky. Exhale to reverse warrior. Trying to keep that front knee bent. There's a tendency, I feel like I'm going to straighten that front knee. It's a different pose. We're going to try to keep that front knee bent. We're going to try to keep bringing that outer right hip back towards the back heel. Oh, yeah. And inhale back into your warrior two. Next, exhale, float the hands down. We'll straighten, bring both feet parallel. If you wanted to, you could hop together, or just step the feet together, shake it out. Whew. Let's do a little jazz hands here. We'll just kind of, or like you're flicking water, but easy water flicks. Just kind of. And take a little shake for the wrists. All right, let's step the feet wide one last time here. Straddle, stretch. And we'll take the arms to T. We're going to get it all out of our system here. We're going to work with either lion's breath, or if you want, we'll do a variation called whinny breath. You can just kind of whinny like a horse. So as you exhale, we're going to bend the knees and bring the hands to the shoulders. So that's our exhale. So if it feels like you want to take the toes out a little bit, we could do that. You could take the toes and knees out a bit rather than have the feet parallel so that it's a little bit more like a goddess. Okay. All right, we're going to inhale, lift the armpit chest, spread the fingers wide, and then as you exhale, breathe out through the mouth, extend the tongue, or you could take a horse swing. Inhale, we'll stand up. So options to add on, you could close the eyes here, kind of squish the eyes and purse the lips. Exhale, sit down, hands to the shoulders. As you inhale, spread the fingers, lift the chest, open the eyes. As you exhale, lift the eyebrows. Take the tongue out or take your Winnie breath. And on your next inhale back, we'll do one more here. Eyes can press together, lips can purse. Exhale, knees bend, hands to the shoulders. Inhale, chest lifts, eyes open. Exhale. Just let it all go. Good. And inhale, stand. Exhale, release. Good. Bring the feet parallel, and we'll step the feet together. Taking one more little shake here. Let's sweep the right hand across and bring that left arm up. We're getting a stretch through the back of the shoulders. It's kind of a modified version of eagle arms. You can see what it's like to turn to the left here. Yeah. Try to really let your shoulders relax away from the ears. All right, and we'll try that on the other side. We'll bring that left arm across, catch it with the right. Oh yeah, so just find that stretch. You may feel it again for the up, you might feel it right here, but also I want you to feel it in the upper back. Yeah. And decide if you want to twist a little over towards the right. You can see what happens if you keep that left arm really, really, really straight. Again, being kind to yourself. Oh. And come on back to center. Good. And then let's just take a few nice and easy shoulder rolls. Let me check and see how we're doing on time here. Okay, good. And a couple more shoulder rolls. Whew. All right, let's go ahead and make our way back down to the floor, and we're going to be able to come onto our back here. Yay. Good there. All right, so go ahead and make your way onto your back. Whew. Knees can be bent here. Roll down. Yay, I'm just rolling down, coming onto my back. Knees are bent, no props. Good. I'm going to draw the right knee in. I'm letting that left foot stay on the floor with the left knee bent. I'm drawing that right knee in and just taking a few circles. I'm using that right hand to make a few circles. So going at your own pace here. And you could take circles in the other direction, a few circles in the other direction. And I'm going to draw that right knee into the chest. So you're squeezing it into the chest. And extend the left leg straight towards the ceiling. So the ankle is over your hip. And you could take a few circles with your ankle here. And circle in one direction. And circle in the other direction. And then as you exhale, you can float the left leg down just a few inches, maybe about 6 inches or 12 inches from the floor. So starting to feel the core engage. And roll your head and shoulder off the chest like you're squeezing a nice big orange under your chin, and your forehead is moving towards your knee. And then go ahead and release. Let the leg float to the floor. Let your shoulder and head float to the floor. So now your right knee is in your chest. Your left leg is extended, resting on the floor, and your head and shoulders are on the floor. So we went from a Pavanamuktasana, a one-legged wind reliever pose here, a couple variations of that. All right, now bend the left knee, bend that left knee, set the left foot on the floor, reach for the outer edge of the right foot. So we're gonna take a half happy baby with that right leg. That same leg that's been hugged in, the knee that was hugged in. If that's available, you could just hug the knee in again, otherwise half happy baby. You're reaching for the outer edge of that right foot, drawing the knee towards the floor. Good. And then letting that go, you can extend the left leg. We're going to take the right knee can stay bent again. And we're going to cross the right knee over the body, taking a twist. So the right arm can come to T, right knee twists across, left leg could be straight. And again, any modifications here, if it feels better for you to have both knees twisted towards the left, that's totally fine with both arms out to T. So just kind of see where you need to come. There's no need for that leg to get to the floor. You could let that inner right foot rest on your thigh. Maybe that feels right today. You could play around with your gaze, looking towards your right hand. And then release, come on back to center. Let's bend both knees, set both feet on the floor, and we'll draw the left knee in now. So you can hold on to the shin or the kneecap and just use your left hand to take some circles to guide your left hip in some nice big circles. Maybe you lightly press down through the right sole of the foot so that the knee, that right knee doesn't flop off to the side, but goes right towards the ceiling. And then circle a few times the other direction. Yeah. It feels better to do that without the hand. You could try it without the hand. You know, again, just kind of see what circle feels right for you. And then drawing, bringing that left knee into the chest, hold on to the shin. You can kind of squeeze it in nice and tight, extend the right leg straight towards the ceiling, and take a few circles with that right ankle. In one direction, you could circle in the other direction. Good, you can take both hands over that left shin. Exhale to float the right leg about 6 inches off the floor as you roll your head and shoulder off the floor. So your forehead is moving towards that left knee. You're feeling a little engagement in the core, a little hollowing out in the core. If that's too intense, you're going to just rest that right leg on the floor and keep your head and shoulders on the floor too. Good, because we're all going there right now. We're going to float the leg to the floor, let the head and shoulder release. Keep that left knee into the chest here. Pavana Muktasana, one-legged wind reliever. And then bend the right knee, foot on the floor, and we'll take half happy baby on the left side. So now you're reaching for the outer edge of the left ankle. Sole of the foot is pressing lightly towards the ceiling, but the left knee is drawing down towards the floor, out towards the outer edge of the rib cage. Let half happy baby go, but keep that left knee bent. You can extend the right leg and we'll take our twist. So we'll bring that left knee across into a twist over towards the right. And let that left arm come to T position. Good. Feel free to let that left ankle rest on the inside of the bottom leg if that feels good. You could turn to gaze towards your left hand. And then releasing, coming back to center. So draw both knees into your chest, either stay here, or if you want to try half happy baby with both, well, it won't be half anymore. If you want to try happy baby with both legs, option to do happy baby with both legs in that happy baby position. You could just rock and roll a little side to side. You could, I've been having fun, you could let one leg kind of stretch out, oh, and then fold them back together and then let the other one, so you could kind of extend one leg. You could just play. You could try extending both legs, that's a little more intense, but maybe that feels good. Maybe rocking with both legs extended. Or again, just enjoying whatever feels good here towards the end of the practice, knees to the chest. But we're going to float the feet back down to the floor and take your feet a little wider or all the way to the edges of the mat. Knees are bent, feet on the floor at the edges of the mat. Let your knees knock together so your thighs rest in together. They're dropping in. And interlace the hands behind your head if that's available. If that's not comfortable, then you can take a break. You don't need to do that with the hands. They can be wherever's comfortable. You could play around with goddess arms if that felt better. And letting the head stay straight towards the ceiling, look lightly with both eyes towards the left. So not too much. You don't want to force the eyeballs. They're not trying to get all the way over to the left. Just lightly looking to the left. Maybe you notice a deepening of the breath. Maybe you notice some gurgling in your tummy or any swallowing. Those are all good signs that your nervous system is regulating. Let the eyes come back to center and then look lightly to the right. Just with the eyes, not the head. And then let the eyes come back to center. Unwind the hands from behind the head if they're there. Take any last, if you need any last stretch or pose, if something would feel good here. And then put on your socks, your jacket, or anything that would feel comfortable. And coming into Shavasana, laying on your back. You could lay on your back, you could lay on your belly. You could take your legs up the wall. You could sit. If you'd rather sit for Shavasana, that's fine. Wherever you'd like to be. Oh, good. There we are. I'm going to sit and hold the space for all of us, but be comfortable. Let your limbs find a comfortable place. So good too. We practice. We practice this active relaxation. This art of falling awake. It's feeling your breath from the inside out. I'm feeling your jaw relaxed. And so the next couple of breaths, just exhaling, releasing any unwanted tension, bringing a little more relaxation into your relaxation pose. This is not really a poem, it's not really an essay, but it's something I found recently that I liked. It's called Love in Action. When you go out and see the empty streets, the empty stadium, the empty train platforms, don't say to yourself, it looks like the end of the world. What you are seeing is love in action. What you're seeing in that negative space is how much we do care for each other, for our grandparents, for our immune-compromised brothers and sisters, and for people we will never meet. People will lose jobs over this, and some will lose their businesses, and some will lose their lives. All the more reason to take a moment when you're out on your walk or on your way to the store, watching the news, or just looking out the window, to look into the emptiness and marvel at all of the love. Let it fill and sustain you. It isn't the end of the world. It is the most remarkable act of global solidarity we may ever witness. So you're free to stay in Shavasana if you'd like. This feels like a good place. You'd like to stay here a little longer. That's totally fine. If you're ready to come out, you can. Again, just feel back into your body, into your wholeness. Just breathing yourself from the inside out, those gentler, deeper breaths. Just moving whatever part of your body feels called to move. And rolling onto your side when you're ready, taking your time. When you're ready, you can press that top palm into the floor and float yourself up into a sitting position. And bring your hands to your heart center again. Just feeling, you can't feel each other's touch so much since we're apart, but just feeling the fullness of your hands touching each other, just feeling that contact of skin to skin. Let the thumbs touch the skin above your heart. You can join me or just listen. We'll chant one nice Om here, exhaling slowly. Take a nice inhale. Om. Namaste. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Leslie and Marjorie and yay, all the wonderful folks who are here. I'll
Thank
turn
you,
Thank you,
Shauna.
Shauna. It was just.
Shauna.
Hi.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Shauna.
It was a little hard to see you when you were lying down.
I couldn't see
Oh,
anything.
sorry.
when you were lying
Okay.
down.
Okay.
But,
Yeah,
and when you were standing, I could see from your chin to your, like lower leg, but not your face or your feet.
Wow, I could see everything. I don't
I
know.
can see
but
everything.
I could see everything, and I could even see little Mimi coming in. And
I saw the cat, but I couldn't see you when you were down on the floor at all.
Huh. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
but otherwise,
We used our
we,
imagination.
it was wonderful.
Thank you.
You're wonderful, so thank you. I'm glad your mom is
Yeah.
doing a little better.
Thanks. Yep. Thank you. Thank
We'll
you.
keep
We
sending
were worried.
positive vibes for her.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
you,
She's
Shauna.
not, out of- but she's doing better. Thank you for
Good.
Good. I'm so
It's
glad.
scary when they're in the nursing homes. Our mom is too, so yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good week. We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
thank you.